6 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining us here on Sunrise. Jason Hackett and Lauren Lemanchek here with you. We're going to get to all of that breaking news here in just a second. But first, we've got to talk about the weather because it was really damp for a lot of folks.
Really damp, and a lot of you may be leaving town later this evening after the kids get out of school or early tomorrow morning. So John's got your forecast.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously still damp here in the backyard. The rain is done, but it's going to take a little while to dry things up. Now we're going to start taking a little ride up the roller coaster Thursday and Friday. But for now, at least today, still cool. Grab your coat. Might be the last coat morning, actually, for the rest of the week. 48 degrees. Right now we got these east winds at 10 miles per hour. It's not bad to have winds behind rain because if it wasn't windy, it'd be very, very foggy this morning. The wind keeps you semi-foggy, a little misty still. Temperature-wise, depending on where you live, we're pretty much in the middle to upper 40s. And when you're uniform like this, or we're all about the same, you know you have one ginormous cloud deck, and we do. We're cloudy. Welcome to fall, especially late fall. When it cools down like this, it loves to be cloudy. Clearly the rain, that's shifting into Wisconsin as we dry out. Now, it's not a completely dry day because I can't rule out a sprinkle or something like that, but there's no consistent rain today at all. It is, however, going to be mainly cloudy. And 55, we'll take a look at, when the warmth is coming in and that next real chance for rain in your forecast. Morning, Cece.
Good morning. It's been kind of busy out on the roads this morning. Seen a couple of vehicle spinouts. One in St. Paul on 35E cleared a few minutes ago, but this scene is still active here. This is in Maple Grove, 94 westbound near Hemlock Lane as you're driving toward Rogers and St. Michael and Albertville. It's off on the right shoulder here, the right lane. Traffic still getting by. So how is this impacting your morning drive? It's really not right now, especially as you keep heading west. So I'd stay on 94. I'll let you know if you need to detour at all this morning. So besides those two situations, it's really quiet out there right now. Not too much to talk about traffic flow wise, but there are a lot of things to talk about construction wise. So I'll have that for you just after 6:15.
All right, Cece, thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. And we are following that breaking news right now in northeast Minneapolis. As we speak, crews are clearing the scene of a crash involving two cars and a train at Columbia Parkway and Central Avenue Northeast.
That's where Michelle Beck is joining us live now. Michelle, the scene there is just horrific. What have you learned?
Yeah, Lauren and Jason, I want to spin around behind the camera immediately because the last of two cars involved in this crash is sitting on top of a tow truck. It could leave the scene truly any minute now, so I want to give you a live picture. We spoke with a passenger who was sitting in that badly damaged car. I'm hoping you can see the damage on that car right now. The airbags deployed, dents all over the body, and debris as these cars are passing by. Debris scattered really all around the ground. I want you guys to remember this dark colored car as we look now to video from the last couple of hours. Before that was towed away, there was a white car here too. Now the passenger of the dark car tells us she and the driver were sitting behind the train tracks because a train was passing by. And that's when she says the white car came from behind and hit them. That pushed the car in the front up against the train as the train was moving. The passenger tells us both drivers were taken to the hospital and that she too will get checked out. And two things to note here. The passenger of this car, again, sitting on top of that tow truck, tells us that car is only a dark color now, and that's because of all the smoke damage. It was originally a light blue color, and now it's close to, if not black already. And also crazy thing to add here that in the last 10 minutes, another train has just passed by behind us. Crazy to think that a similar situation happened just a few hours ago. Back to you.
Man, taking a look at that car, it is amazing that anybody was able to get out of that car and walk away. Michelle, quite the scene out there. Thank you very much for that update. We are following breaking news in Inver Grove Heights. Overnight, we learned a wrong-way crash on Highway 52 is now deadly. This happened just after 10 near 80th Street. State Patrol says an 80-year-old woman started traveling south in the northbound lanes, crashing into a truck. They say at least one of the drivers wasn't wearing a seatbelt. They will release more information at 8 this morning. Well, this morning, one of the busiest travel weeks kicks off right here in Minnesota.
MSP Airport expects tens of thousands of people to travel over the next few days for the MEA weekend. Audrey Russo is live there now, monitoring the crowds. Audrey, is it busy this morning?
Yeah, it's busy, Lauren, Jason, and let me tell you, look over there. You don't see them all at one time, but 50,000 of my closest friends are going to be coming here to MSP today. And 52,000 are expected tomorrow for MEA weekend. And the airport spokesperson tells me that if those forecast numbers hold up, this could be one of the top 10 busiest weekends MSP has had since the pandemic. Now, as I've witnessed over the past 7 days of reporting here, the airport seems to be affected by the shutdown delays. The shutdown, however, underscores how important it is for the airport to communicate with TSA and air traffic control during busy travel. For example, MSP spokesperson says it plans to staff more workers in the lobbies in order to help people move through security faster.
We're continually sharing information about passenger loads, about the times that we expect a lot of people to come in the front door to go through the checkpoints so that everybody's on the same page. It's like a pipeline that goes back and forth leading up. It could be weeks out, and then it gets updated as we get new information.
And one thing you may notice here as you're trying to download your podcast, your little movies, TV shows, you'll notice that the internet's a little bit faster, and that's because the airport has partnered with Verizon to get 5G throughout all of Terminal 1 and much of Terminal 2. And this is available to anybody with any cell phone carrier. So again, 5G, get your content a little bit faster and you'll get on your flight and be on your way. Back to you.
I love that idea. Download your movies before you get on the plane. That way you have a smooth trip. Audrey, thank you very much for that. So if you're taking a road trip for MEA, here's a look at the current gas prices. We checked right before the show went on air. Here in Minnesota, it's going to cost you on average about $2.88 to fill up your tank. Next door in Wisconsin, a little bit cheaper, $2.67. And then in North Dakota, the average cost is sitting at $2.86.
Taking a live look now from the U.S. Capitol this morning as we enter week 3 of the government shutdown. The Senate is set to vote for a 9th time this afternoon on a stopgap funding bill to reopen the government. But as Democrats and Republicans remain at odds, it's putting strain on millions of federal workers who are now facing their first missed paycheck. Members of the military, however, will be paid today after an order from President Trump to redirect Pentagon funds. Air traffic controllers who've been working through the shutdown say they did receive checks yesterday, but it only contained what they earned before the shutdown began.
Developing in the last few hours in the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, the Israeli military is claiming one of the 4 bodies handed over by Hamas earlier this week is not an Israeli hostage. The return of the bodies is part of phase 1 of the deal. That tension comes as key issues are still being resolved, including disarming Hamas.
We have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
All living hostages were returned. The slow release of the deceased hostages has caused Israel to slow aid trucks heading into Gaza.
Starting today, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office will no longer prosecute most felony charges stemming from minor traffic stops like expired tabs and broken taillights. Officials say these stops disproportionately harm communities of color, pointing to cases like Philando Castile. Castile was fatally shot back in 2016 during a traffic stop. Law enforcement, however, opposes this move, saying it means fewer guns and drugs will be taken off the street.